What kind of reaction do you get from the person who comes in expecting conventional sushi?
I spent a lot of years having people walk out. Yeah, I spent a lot of years just being very poor, and just kind of sticking to my guns. A lot of years, many years, like not being able to afford a car, and just living in the basement of the restaurant, and really sticking to what I believe.
What was the tipping point then?
Yeah, exactly.
Where did things change?
Yeah.
The things changed when the New York Times came, and wrote us up in a way that they didn't write anyone else up like that year, and it really blew my career up but not in like, wow, I'm wealthy overnight. Nothing like that. People started thinking, accepting that maybe I'm doing something that's worthwhile. Whereas before, people were like, wow, you should try this stuff. It's really different. He puts raisins in his rolls or whatever, or he's got some grit roll or whatever, And then after that, little by little, the press and everyone else started to follow. And then, for 2010, in the last 2 months, we've been in 16 different things already, and I've been on television 3 different times, and so it's really different than 2004, prior to when the Times came, because back then I used to have to give stuff away for people to try, because everyone would order your usual stuff, and not want to try anything original that I made, So I gave away original stuff, in order to do this, and get respected what I'm doing. But also, I do have to say that I knew that it was going to work out as a business. I wasn't sticking to my guns and being completely stubborn, to my artistic integrity. It wasn't just that. I just knew it was a matter of time, And around 2004, I remember thinking, something big's going to come of it, because I'd been putting in tons of time already. So, I don't know if that answers the question or not. But.
Well, how'd you get through those times? I mean,
Yeah.
you took some risk
Mm-hmm.
by innovating, and you weren't getting a necessarily positive result right out of the box.
Yeah.
The way you described it, took quite a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
What kept you going?
Part of what kept me going is that I don't like to lose, there's no lose in me. And then another thing is that when you make a choice to do something different, you know that that's the kind of reaction that you're going to be getting anyway. I knew we were never, in my tenure at my mother's restaurant that she started, I only had driven it into the ground, literally. Like, when I was a kid, it had lines out the door, and it was hot. And she has her own New York Times review, and and all these great reviews. I had only driven it into the ground, but I also had a practical vision for the future, and I also had faith in myself that not only was I doing the right thing, but I was doing things in a way that nobody else was doing. And I really think right now, I know it's not exactly answering your question, we're just right at the beginning after all these years of getting started.
So you were very passionate about what you were doing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right from the start, I was passionate. But for different reasons. Because I originally got into the business because I wanted to help my mother out, because the business wasn't doing well anymore. Because she had run it for a long, long time, to tell you the truth, And I think she was getting a little tired, and there was tons of competition. I don't know if you know anything about New Haven, but I know you do, but it's a very competitive restaurant town. It's one of the top restaurant towns in Connecticut. And our time was over at that point. And I went in because I really wanted to help my mom out because I could see that she was suffering. And I'm a huge feminist, by the way, because of my mother, and because I've seen her struggle ever since she got here. So now that it's doing so well, you know, even if my career even grows bigger and better than it is right now, it really doesn't matter to me anymore, to tell you the truth, because my mother is really, really psyched, and my dad's psyched. And I think I've accomplished what I wanted to on that end. And I think that might be my agent part, you know, just to feel that way.
But even with a 60-page menu now, you continue to challenge yourself to bring about new roles and new ways of new dishes.
Yeah, I constantly, to answer your question of whether I challenge myself, yeah, I constantly challenge myself to improve in every way. You know, I think part of it has to do with, I would have never got into Rensselaer, for instance, you know, coming out of high school. There's just no way. I mean, I've got one of the worst memories. You know, I've never met someone like myself. You know, I'm riddled with learning disabilities. I'm incredibly ADD. I'm hellish to talk to one-on-one. Yeah, so it's a constant struggle for me to better a brain that seems so incredibly limited. And that's why I read so much, that's why I study so much, that's why I talk to all these people that I can and learn about them and try to find new and interesting ways of thinking that'll make me into a wiser person and in turn help my workout to become better. And of course, that's good business to do.
So if I wanted to, if I said to you, I like your idea. I'm a venture capitalist now. I want to syndicate this around and bring it to other places.
Yeah, we were offered by the company that owns P.F. Chang's and California Pizza Kitchen to do that. And I told them we weren't interested. Yeah.
And why is that?
Because I want to grow. We're going to grow, but we want to grow in a very organic way where we're doing the right thing and not be pushed by a big corporation to compromise all this stuff that we worked hard. I don't need any more money, not that I'm rich, you know, that doesn't propel me. I want to grow because I'm competitive and I want to spread the word of sustainable sushi and looking at food in a different way. And I also want to make a statement about high cuisine, haute cuisine, which is that it can be done and it can be done affordably. And that you can run restaurants that don't destroy the world, you know, and all those things. So my food, as you can probably tell by now, is a platform to express different ideas, and some political and some ecological.
And, sorry, I don't mean to down. You have questions?
I
Yeah,
was
go.
actually just going to.
Oh, you should bring.
Plans to expand or anything, but.
Well, you know, one of the things that I know none of you have been to the restaurant. Oh, by the way, if you go, he gives you free sake just because you're from Rensselaer, by the way. Right?
Oh, that's
Am I right?
absolutely
It's true,
yeah.
right? They just have to introduce themselves.
I'll give you free food if any of you guys come, seriously. Yeah.
But you
definitely.
give food away. You give food away free all the time, right? Isn't that true?
We do, but
If people can't afford it, you give it away, don't you?
We do that all the time. We
Yeah.
actually did before we got here on Sunday, we did a kids dinner lunch where I showed kids how to make sushi in order to open their minds up to different ways of eating. But we gain tremendous amounts of self-fulfillment from that, and I don't see it as charity, you know.